Part 340. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3391. This is the Blood Flame Secret Gold. The market price is at least 3,000 high-grade star cores. Alright. Mortgage 100 top-grade star cores. This is the strange magic armor. The market price is 1,000 high-grade star cores. Okay, successfully mortgaged 50 top-grade star cores. This is Wei Ling Bing. I said it was worth 1,000,000 high-grade star cores. Do you believe it? Okay, mortgage a top-grade star core. As for the price, it's up to you. As for how much the star core is worth to me, that's another matter. Hayes' helpless mentality exploded. Oh shit. I said the real price. Basically the mortgage price has shrunk dozens of times. I've raised the price to the extreme, so you just effing it up to the end. Is there such a thing as a bully? Am I not wronged? In my heart, I am completely wronged. Gritting his teeth, he didn't know what to say. I protest. Your mortgage price is outrageous. Don't bring such a trick. At the very least, let's talk about the most basic principles. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. Hay couldn't keep his face black, and wanted to stage a wave of resistance. So what? Aren't you going to cooperate with the treasure in your hand in exchange for the star core and then pay enough mental damage fees? If this is the case, my spirit will be greatly traumatized, and I may lose control of my behavior. What will happen then, I don't know. Otherwise, would you try it? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows and nodded silently while talking. His eyes gradually became clear. Looking at it, it is very interesting. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and his eyes wandered silently. Hay couldn't hold his chest, and almost died of anger. At this moment, his face turned green and pale, and he wanted to resist a wave in his heart, but he really didn't have the courage. Deep in his heart, that sense of madness was about to crush him to pieces. Pain. Sweeping. Can't hold on. I really can't hold on. Too difficult. It's not his home now. People have to bow their heads under the eaves. But if he resisted, he would surely die. I'm going to try my best. I can't just die like this. That's according to the bastard's wish. Right. I want to hold on. Good on. The mentality collapsed. As long as you can escape from this ghostly place, there is still hope. At that time, I will do everything I can to kill this bastard. I can't help but have never been that impulsive person. If I want to kill you, I will drive you crazy at this moment. Hay could not bite the tip of his tongue tightly. The tingling sensation from the tip of his tongue refreshed him. At this moment, I was thinking secretly in my heart, and my eyes flocked in an instant. Mentality, take off in an all-round way. Then bear with it. Everything is according to what you said. Hay Fu's heart was bleeding, but he could only force himself to calm down. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes silently, with a calm look on his face. From his point of view, there has always been a clear distinction between grievances and grievances. Why be polite to the people in front of you who want to kill yourself? Conversely, if I am bound by these people in front of me, what kind of treatment will I receive? Everything is clear. In total, more than 254,300 star cores. In addition to so many rare treasures. Tisk. Fang Fan, you have a good way of making money. This is really possible. Take off directly. Fang Fan, I won't talk about the rest. You are a real bully. It seems that I really have to learn more from you in the ability to pick skins this week. Tisk, we're still too far behind. Why? It's nothing. Bai Piao sighed in admiration at the sight, and the gleam in his eyes grew more and more as he spoke. While talking at the moment, with a look of admiration, Fang Fan was expressionless and ignored him at all. Nothing. However, this wave of money raising is indeed relatively successful. More than 200,000 high-grade star cores, plus those mortgaged treasures, it should be no problem to collect 500,000 after the final sale. Brother Fang Fan, are you really going to let them go? How about letting them stay here first, and let's leave the scope of the Disaster God's underground palace first. Otherwise, if they carry out an ambush within 10 kilometers of the Disaster God's underground palace later, it will be difficult to guarantee our safety. The reason why these people are so submissive now is because they know that the consequence of not being submissive is to be hanged and beaten. Call. The scene at that time will be unsustainable. Brother Fang Fan, don't be careless. It's best to detain them here first, and when we are far enough away from the Disaster God's underground palace, we will naturally be safe. Zhuo Qiuyao walked forward with a deep groan, and the sincerity on his face was beyond words as he spoke. Clearly, these are wise words. In a few words, it is the most authentic state. Fang Fan nodded silently, then smiled. Zhuo Qiuyao's suggestion is not unreasonable, but there is no need to think so much. I am afraid they don't have this chance. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then looked at the purple-red fireworks that were looking aside. The god of Viewer in the fuchsia flame had just reported a situation to him. If Chu Ceci, the successor of the god of calamity, took away the underground palace of the god of disaster, the Kyanki murderer who was suppressed under the underground palace of the god of calamity would burst out in an instant. At that time, is the real moment of death. Master, there are not 10,000 or 8,000 of the poor and strange beasts under the disaster god's underground palace. And all of them are in a state of extreme viciousness. After all, they have been suppressed for so many years. One can imagine the madness in their hearts. Master, let's withdraw early. The god of doer controlled the purple-red fireworks and swayed from side to side. While talking, he immediately said vigilantly. From all angles, the risk factor is indeed extremely high. In a few words, it is not true. Fang Fan then conveyed the words of the god of disaster to Zhuo Qiuyao and others. Zhuo Qiuyao and the others looked bewildered. What's the meaning? Under the ground, are there all those horrible and strange murderers? I still remember that when we slaughtered a poor and strange beast, we had already put in a lot of effort. If there are thousands of poor and strange beasts rushing out together, the picture, hiss. Zhou Qiuyao speculated for a while, then couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. Immediately afterwards, his eyes gradually became erratic. At this moment, it is no longer able to express in a few words, but it is true. It's real and exciting. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3392. Fang Fan, otherwise I won't collect this disaster god's underground palace. So as not to bring you danger. Chu Ceci blinked, then looked at Fang Fan and said sincerely. Although she said that she liked the disaster god's underground palace very much, it hadn't reached the point where it was absolutely necessary. In order to protect Fang Fan's safety, she was willing to give up. It's useless. The moment the god of disaster's inheritance was inherited, the energy of the god of disaster's underground palace was already disordered. Without the maintenance of energy, those poor and strange beasts will come out soon. That is to say, even if you don't collect the disaster god's underground palace, these poor murderers will still break through the seal and kill them. As for the danger factor to me after these disaster gods rush out of the underground palace, it's really not that high. Fang Fan groaned, and then looked at the keel whale height beside him. This guy is his battle pet who signed the Rage God contract in the Disaster God's underground palace. Not only does he run extremely fast in the sea, but he is not slow even on land. To put it bluntly, after all, he has stayed in this real God's cave for tens of millions of years, and he has already gotten used to the rhythm here. In this way, it brought enough convenience to Fang Fan. Fang Fan nodded silently, thinking to himself, the light in his eyes gradually increased. It's interesting to look at it. President Chu, you are ready to collect the disaster god's underground palace at any time. I'm going to evacuate the crowd first. A smile appeared on the corner of Fang Fan's mouth, and then he strode out. Under the disaster god's underground palace, tens of thousands of poor and strange murderers are hidden. It's about to rush out now. You should leave this place quickly. In order to protect your own safety, it is best to rush towards the entrance of the true God cave. Well, try to find the nearest teleportation circle as much as possible, and then teleport yourself out. This can be regarded as a little extra benefit for you to crowdfund hundreds of thousands of mental damage fees for me. Now you can leave. Hurry up and run away. Fang Fan waved his hand, then shrugged. Reminder, he is already in place. After Fang Fan finished speaking, there was a commotion in front of him. There are tens of thousands of Kyanki beasts suppressed under the God of Disaster underground palace. They are about to rush out? Is this possible? This is too false. That's right, is this fooling us all as fools? Ha, ha ha, could it be that he, Fang Fan, is afraid that we will get together to settle accounts after the fall, and then pay us out early? That's right, it should be like this. It's not too different from what I imagined. Tisk, tisk tisk, interesting, really interesting, there are so many tricks in it. Who says it's not? Be careful, don't waste time, don't be fooled by this Fang Fan. Where did such a poor beast come from? Can this bullshit be a little more decent? Ha. This shows that Fang Fan is afraid of us. There were constant discussions, but they were basically questioning Fang Fan. Fang Fan didn't bother to refute or reply, this fate belongs to you, if you want to die, then go die. But when Fang Fan allowed them to leave, they naturally began to run towards the disaster god's underground palace 10 kilometers away without stopping. Within 10 kilometers of the disaster god's underground palace, they still can't control their own lives, but if they are 10 kilometers away, the mysterious energy of the disaster god's underground palace cannot attack them. The blood of the master of the dark school is black, the sky-level student Lu Feng of the bright school, the leader of the Yuanqi school, the leader of the Nether Academy, and the leader of the Black and White Academy. At this moment, these five forces unexpectedly gathered together, and immediately launched a comprehensive revenge plan. Don't say anything, wait until we arrive 10 kilometers away from the disaster god's underground palace, and immediately expand the encirclement. At that time, as long as we deploy the heaven and earth net, no matter how powerful this Fang Fan is, how can he escape? Humph. This is our opportunity, absolutely, definitely not to be missed. Must be fully controlled. Heifu couldn't drink inwardly, and as he spoke, the gleam in his eyes grew more and more, and his fighting power burst out from all over his body. At this moment, he has been blinded by hatred and interests. Even compared with interests, he is more inclined to hatred. He can't wait to cut Fang Fan into pieces. Well, after 1,000 cuts, it would be even better if he could still snatch the storage ring in his hand and get those treasures. Isn't this a happy life? This feeling took off in an instant. Slowly, thoughts are also rushing. But what Fang Fan said was just and stern, saying that tens of thousands of poor murderers from the disaster god's underground palace are about to rush out. This, what if it is true? Lu Feng, a day-level student of Guangming Academy, shrank his neck, and his face looked a little ugly at the moment. He was reluctant to part with the treasures in Fang Fan's hands, but he was afraid of taking risks. In case what Fang Fan said was true, tens of thousands of poor and ferocious beasts were enough to tear them into pieces. He. Do you think he is so kind? If there is, it is absolutely impossible for him to take the initiative to tell us. Speaking so clearly now, to some extent, even verified his guilty conscience. If that's the case, what do we have to worry about? This kind of thing doesn't matter. He could not grit his teeth, and then said confidently. Oh. You mean, these are all fake? But I always feel that there is a problem. This Fang Fan has always been scheming. Just in case. Call. Lu Feng, a day-level student of Guangming Academy, rubbed his hands. He couldn't help showing vigilance on his face at the moment. He had been hit too many times, and he was a little unconfident. If you don't have the guts, get out. It just happens to save a family. Humph. Anyway, my Yuanqi Academy will never suffer from being dumb. My Yuanqi Academy is willing to join forces with the Dark Academy to kill Fang Fan. This bastard has drained all the star cores and treasures from my body. Sharon, the team leader of Yuanqi Academy, gritted his teeth, his eyes were full of murderous intent. My Nether Academy seconded the proposal, and I must kill Fang Fan. Otherwise, the hatred in my heart will be hard to get rid of. My Black and White Academy and Fang Fan are inseparable. The Dark Academy, Yuanqi Academy, Black and White Academy, and Nether Academy all showed a firm attitude. Lu Feng, a day-level student of Guangming Academy, couldn't help but swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He could only bite the bullet and nod at this moment. He lowered his head silently, his eyeballs also rolled, and he didn't know what he was thinking. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3393. President. Is there really anything strange? 10,000 more. Is this Fang Fan a little too exaggerated? Is it interesting that we run so fast? I'm going, my physical strength is almost exhausted. This is too uncomfortable. President, don't be fooled. Aside, members of Tiandao Club of Guangming Academy rolled their eyes, and then appeared to be insincere. While talking, he couldn't help but sighed beside him. Anyway, there is a lot of resentment in my heart. After this one finished speaking, there were indeed a lot of complaints from the surrounding area. In this heart, there will be some dissatisfaction more or less. These people are basically members of the Tiandao Club of Guangming Academy, and they have been following behind the President Sun Han. Quiet. Quiet. Stop muttering. Sun Han, the president of Tiandao Society, snorted coldly, then scanned his surroundings sharply. At this moment, while talking, his footsteps never stopped, and he unswervingly launched a full-scale sprint forward. He has always kept Fang Fan's words in mind. Under the God of Calamity Underground Palace, there will be tens of thousands of poor and strange beasts rushing out of the seal, causing disaster to the world. Nowadays, finding a teleportation array to teleport out is the most important thing. As for the rest, nothing. Mentally, it completely collapsed. The feeling has also become more profound. Their respective thoughts gathered in their hearts, and then they couldn't help but lick their lips. Posture, very calm. You guys think too much, too much. According to what you think, Fang Fan is lying to you. Why don't you think about it with your pig brains? Is there any need for Fang Fan to lie to you? You guys, what kind of onion are you? Did you set yourself too high? If Junior Fang Fan wants to kill you, it's just a matter of thought. It's not like you didn't see the scene where Brother Fang Fan slaughtered tens of thousands of people in one thought. That being the case, Why do you ask such a stupid question? If you have enough confidence to deal with those tens of thousands of poor and strange beasts, stay now. I won't stop you. But if anyone is bewitching people and wants to drag other people into the abyss of hell, don't blame me, Sun Han, for not being sympathetic. If you want to find death yourself, I don't care. If anyone messes with those flower heads, he. The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, and Sun Han couldn't help showing the majesty of the president. The whole audience seemed a little quiet, but there were also some strong-willed people who quietly left the team, and then began their death-seeking journey. How should I put it, this is really looking for death. It's as if I don't know how the word dead is written. Sun Han glanced into the distance, his expression became more and more indifferent. Those who want to seek death cannot be pulled back no matter what. He just needs to ensure that most of the people in Tiandao Club can live. Sun Han's eyes projected towards the distance, and at the end of the distance, Fang Fan's figure could be vaguely seen. Sun Han wriggled his lips, and then couldn't help but let out a soft sigh. They are drifting away from each other. Once there was an opportunity for intimacy in front of him, but he didn't cherish it, and then, he couldn't keep up with it anymore. Student Fang Fan's future achievements are limitless. If I had boarded Fang Fan's chariot back then, I would have been able to soar. Just like that kid Zhuoqiu Yao. But now, it seems that there is no chance. The past cannot be recalled. Forget it. Let's see how things will be in the future. Sun Han glanced deeply towards the distance, and then his steps became more and more brisk, and his speed gradually reached the extreme. At the moment of galloping, everything is bursting out in an all-round way. Such feelings cannot be expressed simply in a few words. It's time to start. After collecting the disaster god's underground palace, start to evacuate quickly. Fang Fan glanced at the distance, and everyone who should go has already left. Those who don't want to leave, then stay forever. What should be reminded is also reminded. But once I collect the disaster god's underground palace, those poor and strange beasts may tear the seal in an instant. At that time, what if we don't escape in time? This is too dangerous. I can't do this. I can't put you all in danger. When Chu Ceci said these words, her eyes couldn't help but focus on Fang Fan's face. It's okay to look at it at first. But if you keep staring at it like this, something feels wrong. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and his facial expression was particularly complicated. Ever since this woman came out of the disaster god's underground palace, something seemed wrong. Fang Fan subconsciously touched the series of wounds on his neck. Husband, what happened to your neck? Why is it blue and purple? It looks like tooth marks. Xiangfei's eyes were very sharp, and she immediately noticed the tricks in it. While speaking, concubine Xiang couldn't help biting her red lips tightly, then she walked over with her head tilted. Cough. There are indeed a lot of strange insects and beasts in the disaster god's underground palace. So, that's all. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then said seriously. When speaking, it is necessary to behave neither humble nor overbearing. Otherwise, isn't it self-inflicted? When Fang Fan was talking to concubine Xiang, Chu Ceci, who was on the side, secretly quit the group chat, then lowered her head, immersed herself in the same place, and did not speak. Is it? This strange insect and beast is really strange. Why does it only leave a mark on your neck? Also, this really looks like a tooth mark. Concubine Xiang tilted her head, then looked at Fang Fan with a smile. Fang Fan's heart was excited, his eyebrows subconsciously raised at this moment, and his complexion looked particularly complicated. Brains, buzzing. This really has nothing to do with him, but why does he feel guilty? Husband, you seem to like to leave this mark on me. Last time you told me that this is called growing strawberries. You always keep this thing on my chest, have you forgotten? Xiao Liulai had no intention of speaking, and then said directly. The scene was once very complicated. Bai Piao at the side suddenly looked gloating. Fight! Fight! Left uppercut? Right straight. Hit her. Bai Piao seemed as if watching the excitement was not a big deal, and at this moment his whole person became smug. Husband. I want, to tell the truth. Are you? Concubine Xiang gritted her teeth, her expression suddenly became solemn. Yes, but... Just as Fang Fan was about to say something, Concubine Xiang put her little hand on his lips. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3394. It seems, I really guessed right. Oh my god. You actually had an affair with Bai Piao. I found out before that your relationship seems to be very unusual. Although it's been noisy all the time, but if there is anything, the first thing Bai Piao thinks of is you. If you have something interesting, I want to be the first to share it with Bai Piao. My sisters and I have been by your side before, you have no chance to get in touch with Bai Piao. But in the Disaster God's underground palace, we sisters are not here, so you can do whatever you want, right? You wouldn't have hugged each other tightly and eaten each other. Ah! Disgusting. Xiangfei suddenly launched her wireless associative ability. As he spoke, his body trembled violently. Fang Fan clutched his chest, inexplicably feeling a little nauseous. Especially after turning his head to see Bai Piao's ignorant face, he suddenly felt a spasm in his stomach. Grass. Is this all right? Why are you so suspicious? You are thinking too much. Fang Fan shuddered, and then couldn't help rubbing Xiangfei's head. You bastard! What are you thinking? Fang Fan first gave Xiangfei a pat on the head, then lowered his head and pinched her lovely cayenne nose. In fact, he understood what Xiangfei meant. According to Xiangfei's wisdom, can he not know who left these strawberry marks on Fang Fan's neck? It's just that in front of so many people, she needs to leave enough face for Fang Fan. Also, Chu Sisi is her cousin, and they have a close relationship with each other. In addition, concubine Xiang has already made corresponding preparations. This charming man is destined not to be hers alone. Rather than letting others take it, it is better to choose to keep the fat and water out of the fields of outsiders. I go. Why do you show your affection to hurt me? I am innocent. I'm getting goosebumps all over my body. Wipe. Can you stop torturing people like this? I am so difficult. I am too difficult. Hiss. Damn, I'm sure I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Bai Piao couldn't help but started cursing at the side. What the hell is this? It's just that this guy's yelling is destined to be ignored by no one. Nothing. Chu Sisi on the side felt extremely embarrassed at the moment. How did those marks on Fang Fan's neck come from? How could she not know? Under the extreme pain at that time, she didn't hold on, and then crazily gnawed on Fang Fan's body. It's just that she remembered that what she wanted at the time was mouth, why there were so many on her neck. Chu Sisi shook her head, thinking of these things made her brain feel messed up. Why couldn't she restrain herself a little more then? This makes her how to face concubine Xiang in the future. That's my cousin, dearest cousin. What are you thinking? Hurry up and collect the disaster god's underground palace. Fang Fan shrugged, then reminded him from the side. Ah. Okay, I know, here we come. Chu Sisi was stunned for a moment, then nodded quickly, her eyes turned involuntarily, and then she fled directly as if fleeing from a disaster. At this moment, she dared not look at Fang Fan at all. I always feel my body is numb, my mind is in a mess, and my limbs can't move. She actually did that to Fang Fan. So proactive. Why? Now I can't wait to throw my head into the ground and forget it. It's so embarrassing. Looking at the disaster god's underground palace in front of her, Chu Ceci's expression became more and more solemn. Gradually, the radiance in the pupils also increased, and spiritual energy gathered all over her body. Immediately, the mouth began to murmur to itself. Boom. Rumbling. Suddenly, the sound of overwhelming mountains and seas came, inexplicably giving people a sense of crazy oppression in the mind. The Calamity God's underground palace was slowly pulled up from under the ground abruptly. The posture of the behemoth is displayed in front of everyone, and there is a sense of grandeur in the senses. It's so big, so majestic. Tisk, look at it, it's really spectacular. Bai Piao at the side looked up, and then couldn't help sighing. Immediately, under the focus of everyone's attention, the huge disaster god's underground palace began to shrink rapidly. Slowly reduced from the original behemoth to a small group. The miniature version of the god of disaster underground palace looks very good looking. Call. Okay, okay. Just now, it took a lot of spiritual power to collect the disaster god's underground palace just now. Chu Ceci wiped the sweat from her forehead, and then her body seemed a little weak. Boom. Bang bang bang. Just at this time, the ground suddenly began to shake all over, and the dust was flying in the past at a glance. Did it come so fast? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, then let out a foul breath, and his eyes also turned around. Looking at it, it is more interesting. I feel a little. The suppressed poor beast is about to rush out. The god of viewer, wrapped in purple flames, sighed hastily. Withdraw. Fang Fan didn't hesitate at all, and immediately led the crowd to run wildly. It's a race against time right now. At the moment of the outbreak, everything is being completely crushed. Such a posture, such a feeling, cannot be simply expressed in a few words. After sprinting forward for a while, Fang Fan looked behind him again. In the dimness, there seemed to be groups of poor and strange beasts rushing towards the side. But because Fang Fan and the others escaped in time, they couldn't directly pursue them for a while. When Fang Fan and the others came within 10 kilometers of the disaster god's underground palace, they glanced over and saw a sea of people. Those cultivators from various universities and colleges are stuck here, trying to find out. There are countless poor and strange beasts coming from behind. Get out of the way. Evacuate quickly. Fang Fan shrugged his shoulders indifferently, then straight forward and began to stab. Everyone behind, follow closely. Ha ha ha. Fang Fan. Stop lying to us with such nonsense. You are at the end of your rope. Do you really think you are the god of disaster? Can you still control the entire cave of the true god? Nothing. You are nothing. If it wasn't for a coincidence, you would have died long ago. Now that you have been emphasizing it so much, it can only show your guilty conscience. Call. There is only one dead end in front of you at this moment. Go to hell. Go to hell. He couldn't help but tremble all over with excitement now. Revenge, the chance for revenge has come. There is no way he would miss such an opportunity again. Fang Fan. Must die. There are 200,000 practitioners gathered around him at this moment. With 200,000 elites, is it difficult to kill Fang Fan? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3395. As for the poor and fierce beasts, that's completely bullshit. Who would believe such a lie? Fake. Too fake. He Fu couldn't narrow his eyes, thinking to himself, the whole body was bursting with energy. Let all of this be agitated. All attention. Fang Fan is here. The Heaven and Earth network is activated. We must not let him escape from here. This is a murderous devil. Relying on the disaster god's underground palace, in one thought, kill tens of thousands of our brothers and sisters. This is the biggest demon we have to fight. Kill. He must be killed. Brothers. Our star cores, weapons, and treasures have all been looted by this Fang Mo. We must not sit still and wait for death. Let's fight. Unleash your vigorous combat power. Invincible. The howling sounds gradually increased, and Hao Fang's face gradually became extremely red. As he spoke, his body and mind trembled. Excited, surging. In a few words, the feeling is not the same. He thinks he can do it again. He felt like he could take off again. Just don't think too much. In fact, to put it bluntly, it's just that the word benefit comes first. After this black man couldn't stand up, there was a lot of shouting around. Kill Fangmo. Seize the treasure. Kill Fangmo. Seize the treasure. Lie. Rise up and attack at this moment. The posture is so surging that it explodes. Fang Fan raised his head and glanced, inexplicably feeling a little ironic. Bewitched by greed. Those in front of me, one counts as one, and none of them can be regarded as a healthy person. When greed breaks out completely, everything will die. Nothing. A group of sand sculptures. If you want to die, stay here. I don't want to be with you. 10 legions. 6 heroes. 4 divine pets. Swallow the beast. Keel whale. Push. Rush out. With the fastest speed. Fang Fan snorted secretly, and his whole body twitched with energy. While speaking, his eyebrows were raised, and his thoughts were rushing together. Fight to the last moment. The fierce battle is fully launched at this moment. The heart of killing is gathering at this moment. Let everything be based on this as the cornerstone. Break out. Fang Fan licked his lips, his eyes moved quickly, and the corners of his mouth also raised up. What should come, will always come. Everything will show the most vivid posture. Instant death. Total burst. Boom. Boom boom boom. The Blood Shura Legion charged at the forefront under the leadership of Luo Hu. The Silver Dragon Knight Legion and the Seraphim Legion guarded the left and right sides, and jointly guarded the Blood Shura Legion to stab forward. The Low Heavy Machine Artillery Corps began to bombard indiscriminately ahead. The rest of the major legions perform their duties, and the battle scenes are gradually frightening. The battle is now. Bloodbath on the spot. It should not be too difficult for the mob in front of him to stop Fang Fan's footsteps. Although they are all greedy for the treasure in Fang Fan's hands, so what? Just relying on their combat power, do they still want to become gods against the wind? Just rely on them. Do you really deserve it? Nothing. In the end, I can only curl up in the present moment and become the sacrifice of death. Surroundings, a bloody smell surged, and corpses littered the field. Follow-up practitioners of various universities and colleges are terrified. Also afraid. They retreated compactly, looking around with frightened eyes. Then he tried his best to escape towards the surrounding area. They want to live. They don't want to die. Treasure, they want it too. But the attacks of those guards around Fang Fan are too strong. The combat power was directly pulled to full capacity. At this moment, all they felt was fear, and could only tremble along with it. The rest are nothing. Seeing that Fang Fan was about to lead the elite under his command to sprint out. Black can't be in a hurry. You bastards. Block the gap. Go forward. Human C tactics, don't you know? A bunch of trash. What the hell, what else can you do? Damn. A bunch of bloody bastards. Just because you are like this, you also want to obtain treasures. Grass. You guys, why don't you die? Rubbish. A group of street crawlers. Ah! Kill Fang Fan. Take the treasure. He couldn't sit still anymore. Seeing that the line of defense has completely collapsed, what the hell, there is still a hammer. He got on the horse himself, trying to plug the gap. When he rushed over, he saw a figure of someone. Wearing a silver-white armor, holding a huge long sword, the whole body is full of arrogance. Grass. This is so. This shit, isn't it the bastard who almost killed him last time? Heifu couldn't soften his body, and stepped back subconsciously. This mentality is indeed a bit unbearable. I was lucky enough to escape my life last time, but this time, I don't have such a whole card that can be used to save my life. Galen stood on the spot with the big sword in his hand, looking at Heifu who would keep retreating. He could not help showing a hint of sarcasm on his face. That's it? Do you still want a full stab? Are you thinking too much? In the end, it was all just a joke. He couldn't be negligent. Fang Fan had already rushed out with people. The defense line is like a fake. There is still a line of defense. There's another one over there. It's the line of defense set up by that Lu Feng of Guangming Academy. As long as he can persist for a few minutes, I can lead people to encircle him, and Fang Fan will definitely die by then. He couldn't rub his hands, raised his eyebrows subconsciously, and his whole body was filled with arrogance. What I'm thinking right now is quite true. Everything can unfold at this moment. In the distance, Lu Feng and some horsemen under his command stood there blankly, watching Fang Fan rush through the first line of defense like a broken bamboo, and he still didn't quite react at the moment. Is this, crushed? What kind of existence are these guys around Fang Fan? Call. One is more terrifying than the other. Can I hold on? There are only some practitioners from Guangming Academy around me, and all of them are vacillating. That Fang Fan has been annoyed at me for a long time. If he concentrates his strength to attack me, I will be finished. And this Fang Fan has been saying that there are Kyanki beasts chasing after him. Since that's the case, then, it's better to save your life. I'm going to run away. I want to save my life. Yes. That's right. I cannot place my precious life here. A gentleman does not stand under a dangerous wall. I am a gentleman. Yes. I want to spare my life. Lu Feng nodded in agreement, then glanced at the rear, and then took the first step. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3396. This is the first step on the road. It has been said that a gentleman does not stand under a dangerous wall, so what are you waiting for? It's true to run away now, it's true to save your life, and everything else is bullshit. Boss, what are you doing? Didn't you stick to the line of defense here? That Fang Fan is coming soon. We're about to get rich. You're going in the wrong direction. The little pony on the side blinked, and then said quite simply. It's just a little too naive. After being too simple, it seems a bit stupid. With the current situation, isn't it good that the mentality explodes in an instant? Keep your ass. If you don't want to live, just stay here. Anyway, labor and management don't keep it. What the hell, it's sending you to death. How fierce is that Fang Fan? Didn't you see it just now? At that time, you will be crippled every minute, and you are still playing with a hammer. Withdraw. To withdraw. Everything else is false, saving my life is the truth. I'm so humming experienced. Forget it, that's all for now. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Labor and management will run away first. Lu Feng swallowed a mouthful of saliva, then took a deep breath, and the eyes flashed all over. Thinking secretly in my heart, my mind is also churning with the whole area. This guy has enough self-knowledge about himself. After Lu Feng ran away, the practitioners of Guangming Academy looked at each other, and then there was a sigh. This is so. The leaders have all run away, what should they do now? Go here? It doesn't seem like that. Sprint forward? They don't have the strength either. What's the matter now? Boss Lu Feng has run away. The one who runs is called a resolute. Shall we go or stay? Leave you a big-headed ghost. Although labor and management have always looked down on this Lu Feng, I have to say that this guy's perception of danger is much stronger than ours. This guy must have sensed some danger, so he chose to run ahead of time. If you don't want to die, just run away. Everything else is bullshit. Safety comes first. That's right. Boss Lu Feng has already run away, why are we sticking around? But Fang Fan has a treasure on him. Hee, can you get it, baby? If you can't get it, it's rubbish. Let's go first. I slipped away too. Slip away, it's nothing. The scene once seemed very chaotic. Looking at the past, everyone is sprinting forward with their feet open. Nothing. The second line of defense is like a fake. Fang Fan and the others collapsed before reaching here. Master, this. Galen opened his mouth with a complicated expression. They were all ready for the bloody battle, and seeing the situation now, they felt their scalp tingle for no reason. It's like hitting the cotton with a fist. These people have all run away, but it's just right. Save us a little more effort. Everything is fully prepared. Get ready to speed up. With Fang Fan's order, more than 100 combat forces under his command are galloping with all their might. At this moment, like a wisp of green smoke, it drifts quickly. The feeling is particularly profound. What happened? What happened? Asshole. That Fang Fan, how did he run so fast? What about the second line of defense? Where is that trash Lu Feng? Stop it. Damn it. Did this trash leave Fang Fan with a gap in his defense? Grass. Turtle son. Trash is humming trash. Mud can't support a wall. It's so disgusting. Bloodborne Hay, the master of the Dark Academy, couldn't grit his teeth, and while he was talking at the moment, the ferocity on his face was beyond words. While speaking, the whole person became flustered. It seems that they want to tear everything in front of them completely. Deep in my heart, it is extremely surging. In a few words, I can no longer express this special feeling. For it. This. Senior brother Haofu, what, it's not that there is a gap in the defense line, but... After returning from the investigation, the cultivator from the Dark Academy had a complex expression on his face. Now I really don't know how to express it. This is really embarrassing. It's so embarrassing to pick your feet. The mentality also slowly collapsed, and it was nothing. But what? Speak. Speak. I am CAO. Oh shit. What did you ink on? What time is it? Labor and management don't have time to accompany you here to talk nonsense. Say it. Hay couldn't help but have blood-red eyes, and he strangled the scouting practitioner's neck tightly. Cough. Ahem. Grass. Cough cough cough. You are pinching labor. Say a hammer. Cough cough cough. The reconnaissance practitioner couldn't help but rolled his eyes, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help twitching. What the hell? What kind of humming life is this? Mentality burst instantly. Also play a chicken. Nothing. Lu Feng let go of his hands with a gloomy face, and stared at the messenger. The second line of defense is simply not established. That Lu Feng fled before Fang Fan arrived. With the dragons without a leader, the second line of defense has already collapsed. People, it's all over. We can no longer catch up with Shangfan. The messenger shrugged, and then reported the most authentic information. Suddenly, Lu Feng's expression darkened. Turtle son. Hateful. Damn. Die. All must die. The whole army is ready. Charge for me. Kill Fang Fan. As long as Fang Fan is still in the True God Cave, he can't escape. I want him to die. I must want him to die. No one can stop it. I said. Roar. He cannot be ambitious. At this moment, the whole body is full of momentum. As if to completely crush everything in front of me. Surroundings are condensed boundless thrills. The mentality is also a little unsteady. Be proud. The eyes are dull. Everything is silent here. I am CAO. My day. Oh shit. Dog days. Suddenly, bursts of beautiful exclamation particles came from around. Haofu's complexion gradually darkened. What's the meaning? Slap him in the face? That's it? What the hell, can't you just calm down a little bit? Do labor and capital lose face? Just talk to labor and management like this. Shouldn't my heart be split directly? I just inspired my ambition, and after I said a few words, you started scolding me? All the dog days are out? Improper son of man? Completely looked down on labor? He couldn't grit his teeth, he felt insulted. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3397. It's just that before he got angry, the expression of anxiety on the face of Maze beside him was already flashing. It's over. I go. It's cold, this wave is really cold. Konki, a lot of Kyanki. What Fang Fan said is true. Mountains and seas, all of them are poor and strange beasts. Just, right in front. Run, run. In the face of these surging herds of poor and fierce beasts, no one was surprised and frightened. At this moment, each of them looked at each other, their lips trembled slightly, and their mentality was bleeding. Nothing. How can there be any worries about chasing and killing Fang Fan now? At this moment, they are being chased and killed by tens of thousands of strange beasts. If you escape a little later, your life will be ruined and stranded inside. The sense of panic suddenly increased. At this moment, I hurriedly retreated, and said nothing about the rest. It's true to save your life. Really here. Fang Fan didn't lie. How so? Did this poor and ferocious beast really emerge from under the Calamity God's underground palace? Why didn't you run out before, but now? Is it Fang Fan's blindfold? If it's a cover-up, there's no need to be afraid, and it even shows from another level that Fang Fan is really guilty of fear. Boom. Bang bang bang. There was a burst of vibrations, and those cultivators standing outside were smashed into pieces by these poor and strange beasts. The state of shattered bones does look a little bad. Glancing at the past, I felt my heart tremble inexplicably. Die. All dead. Mentality, blood collapse. What the hell, playing with a dick. This is not a blindfold. Oh shit. It's all true. Good on. He couldn't swallow a mouthful of saliva, and then wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Looking at the group of poor and ferocious beasts rushing towards him like a mountain, his calf was more or less soft. Brothers. It's just poor and strange. What's the deal? Less than 10,000. They are not our opponents at all. The flesh and blood on these Kyanki's bodies are all good things. If we can get these good things, we will be prosperous. Brothers. Stay where you are. Kill Kyanki. Take Kyanki's flesh and blood. Hay couldn't roar twice and flickered for a while, and then secretly stepped back a few steps under the bewildered eyes of everyone. After some deceiving actions, Hay couldn't stop hesitating, threw off his legs and sprinted towards the rear. He wants to escape first. As for the people behind him, just act as his shield. Such and such, is an excellent choice. Heifu couldn't narrow his eyes, thinking to himself, the radiance in his eyes grew more and more. This feeling cannot be expressed simply in a few words. All in all, pretty exciting. Everything. Take off. Everyone. Can you lose a little more? Let's go to fight the Kyanki beast herd. You, the instigator, ran away first? Leave us here to feed Kyanki? This poor and ferocious beast can hang and beat 100 or even 1,000 of them. Tens of thousands of poor and ferocious beasts, how can we fight against them? Any fool knows it's a dead end. Are you fooling us like fools? Shameless. Garbage. Haofu's mouth, sooner or later I'll have to beat him to death. WTF. Playing us like monkeys. It's really enough. It's a husky. Hay couldn't get away, all those things have run away, and we have to run away too. Get away. The voices of discussion gradually increased, everyone's eyes widened, and the corners of their mouths rose silently. In terms of mentality, they also silently followed suit. This feeling cannot be simply expressed in a few words. All in all, at this moment, this black man has ruined the last bit of his reputation. Under the expulsion of tens of thousands of fierce and strange beasts, everyone is doing a full-scale escape. At this moment, living is already very difficult. As for the other ones that are there or not, don't take it seriously at all, it doesn't matter at all. A wave of running is enough. Dead friends don't die poor. They don't need to be able to outrun those poor beasts, they just need to be able to outrun their teammates. In this way, your teammates can become your shield. This posture is extremely fun. At the edge of the True God Cave Mansion, Sun Han, the president of the Tiandao Club of Guangming Academy, licked his lips, and then let out a foul breath. Finally found the teleportation array. It's safe. Everyone enters the arena in an orderly manner. Out of the True God Cave in batches. Sun Han waved his hand and immediately ordered. President, why are you so nervous? I don't think things are that bad, do they? That's right, President, you can't just listen to the wind and the rain, it's okay. Shop manager, do you think too much? Maybe this matter is not what you think at all. Boom. Rumbling. A loud noise came suddenly, and the surrounding world changed color instantly. The earth trembled accordingly. In the distance, people are turned on their backs. Everyone is doing their best to escape. Farther away, it seems that there are vaguely huge figures of monstrous beasts. There are many mountains, and it can't be seen clearly, but judging from the scale, it is definitely not small. Poor and strange beast. It's a Kyanki beast. Call. After all, it's still here. All. Get ready. Hurry up and enter the teleportation circle. Teleport out of the True God Cave in an orderly manner. Line up in an orderly manner. Sun Han gritted his teeth, and then scolded directly. Too much time wasted. If you wait until those fleeing people rush over, it may not be realistic to teleport out through the teleportation array. When the time comes when you fight over each other, the scene will only lead to a complete bloodbath. At that time, everything will become silent. In a few words, it is the most authentic appearance. The mentality must also slowly explode. The rest are nothing. Everyone in Tiandao society looked at each other, couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva at this moment, and then shrank their necks subconsciously. There are really poor and strange beasts. If they stayed where they were, wouldn't they have the same fate as those people at this moment, being chased by hordes of poor and strange beasts, with no clue of life or death. At this time, some special thoughts will naturally arise in my heart. At least for the moment, hold on. Also alive. My heart immediately felt happy. The feeling of being alive is really good. The previous complaints are gone, and now these practitioners of Tiandeo society just want to escape quickly. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3398. Fang Fan glanced behind him, his expression very indifferent. Tens of thousands of poor and strange beasts bit the practitioners of the Dark Academy, Yuanqi Academy, Black and White Academy, and Nether Academy. A trampling will cause tens of thousands of casualties. At this moment, on the ground, mountains of corpses and seas of blood are gathering in an all-round way. Why? This time, most of the 200,000 people will be killed. Bai Biao shrugged, then sighed from the side. Fang Fan glanced at Bai Biao unexpectedly. This guy thinks a little too much. When did you become so charitable? That's not like you. Fang Fan smiled silently, feeling a little strange. Cough. I just feel a little pity. There are quite a few femme fatale in the Dark Academy and the Black and White Academy. Tisk, she looks good, but she has a vicious heart. Bai Biao blinked, and then a look of anticipation appeared on his face. Fang Fan. He really didn't understand it at first, but after thinking about it carefully, he discovered the clue. Femme fatale? She looks so cute, but she has a vicious heart. It's a pity to die. Fang Fan glanced at Bai Biao. This guy's current aesthetics are very special. Is your taste so unique now? You like femme fatale too? Aren't you afraid that I'll give you a knife in the middle of the night? Fang Fan glanced at Bai Biao's cheap look, then couldn't help but shook his head and said. Ah. If that's the case, it's really good. Then I'll really take off. Tisk, tisk tisk. It would be even better if there was a small leather whip. Don't they all say that beating is kissing or scolding is love? This feeling is very exciting. Good on. Bai Biao shrank his neck, the flesh on his body trembled, and his whole body became swaying. Between a few words and a few words, it is the most surging appearance. Fang Fan. Nothing. It sounds like my brain hurts. That's it? Are you thinking too much? There's a lot of bells and whistles. Brother Bai Biao, I didn't realize before that you are so perverted now. You don't have some kind of masochistic tendencies, do you? Cao. Are you addicted to being beaten? Gui Sha stepped back. You must keep your distance. Just don't be too scary. Piss off. You are addicted to beating. I only have her in my mind who can hit me like this. Bai Biao raised his eyebrows, and his whole body drifted away. Everyone. Too disgusting. In terms of details, it is also in place. The sense of bells and whistles is really too strong. Fang Fan couldn't help but shook his head, and didn't know what to say at the moment. There is a teleportation array everywhere. Get ready. Teleport anytime. Fang Fan glanced back, and at this moment, about half of the 200,000 practitioners behind him had been killed. For the remaining half, I don't know how many can escape in the end. At this moment, those fleeing practitioners are cursing Hao Fang all the time. This time's blocking battle is what he can't deal with. Moreover, the last chance to escape was ruined because of this bastard. If you can run half a minute earlier, it only takes half a minute, and the casualties can be reduced by half. As for that he couldn't, because he ran early, he really didn't suffer any casualties. Those cultivators who fled behind couldn't wait to rush to Haifalang, and smash him to death with their fists. Shameless especially. He couldn't look at the gradually shrinking crowd behind him, so he couldn't help but licked his lips. Fortunately, I made a decisive decision and used these fools as a shield for me, otherwise my life is very likely to be stranded in it. There is no way to say the risks involved. The single combat power of these poor and strange beasts is really too strong. It's really not a little bit stronger. In an instant, I was crushed. There are tens of thousands of such poor and ferocious beasts. Call. No one can resist. All of this was caused by that Fang Fan. If it wasn't for him, I would never have encountered such a risk. It's him, it's him. Damn it. These poor and strange beasts must have been released by him to deal with me. He's already planned all this. The wolf's ambition is obvious. As for deliberately reminding us to let us escape first, it is all hypocrisy. The purpose is to make me react wrongly, so as to continue to stick to the same place. Well, that's it. That's how it should be. All the responsibilities belong to that Fang Fan. This shameless and despicable person. He couldn't clenched his fists tightly, and at this moment he wished he could punch him a few times with his fists. Anyway, I just want to shift all the responsibility to Fang Fan. The brain circuit has always been so strange. Ahead, Lu Feng, a sky-level student of Guangming Academy, is fleeing for his life. At this moment, he clearly felt that his lower body was drenched. And, I can't hold it. I don't know what's wrong recently, I feel nervous and anxious at every turn, and then I urinate to the end. He also seemed to like this exciting and surging feeling. The whole person is very comfortable. Just this kind of feeling, very graceful. Slowly, the whole person drifted away. Fortunately, I made a decisive decision and got out in time. If I run to stop that Fang Fan, even if I don't get killed by Fang Fan, these poor beasts will eat me up. I made the clearest choice. In the end, the group of idiots like he couldn't act as a shield for me. Snort. Life is gone, but nothing is gone. As long as there is still life left, there are infinite possibilities for what will happen in the future. The treasures on Fang Fan will be mine sooner or later. When I return to Guangming Academy, I will plan slowly. Fang Fan. Just wait to die. Humiliate me too much. A first-year freshman is so arrogant. I'll let you know what cruelty is. Lu Feng's complexion gradually became flushed, and his head was also dizzy at the moment. The ponies around him ran away, while praising him and bearding him. Boss is so powerful, he took us away in time when he knew there was danger. Hey! Boss is invincible. The profit is amazing. We all owe the boss a life, and we must repay it in the future. Yes. This must be made clear. The boss is the boss, and the gap with us is still obvious. Senior brother Lu Feng is the leader of Guangming Academy. In the future, this Guangming Academy will only be controlled by brother Lu Feng. Hey! I think so too. What kind of Tiandao society and Guangming society are all rubbish? The boss dominates Guangming Academy and suppresses Tianjiao Eternal. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3399. Anyway, just brag about what sounds good. At the moment, Lu Feng likes to hear this. He nodded silently, feeling quite comfortable. The crowd slowly swarmed to this small teleportation array. The teleportation array going back can only teleport a few hundred people at a time. And there are tens of thousands of surviving cultivators at this moment. Now they not only have to face the pressure of those poor and strange beasts, they even have to guard against their so-called comrades in arms. Deep in my heart, I conveyed a sense of infinite horror. The sound of breathing gradually became a lot faster. Escaping is the only choice. The moment of death, the oppressive force falls instantly. Ah! You humming stabbed me in the back. We're brothers. Hum off, who the F***ck is your brother? Make way. Let labor go first. I'll come first. Let me rush up. Chaos is the only theme of the moment. Fang Fan stood where he was, and led everyone on the teleportation array indifferently, then took one last look at the chaotic crowd. Killing is crazy. As soon as he thought of this, the gleam in his eyes grew more and more. Interesting. It's really interesting. The role of thinking guidance is very strong. Feeling, very deep. After a period of dizziness, when I opened my eyes again, it was already outside. Familiar background, familiar everything. At the sight, Grand Uncle G and Deputy Palace Master Shui Wanren strode over to greet him. Call. It finally came out. Damn. I'm so anxious. Tai Shiji gritted his teeth and couldn't help shouting from the side. Teacher Tai Shija. Can you pay attention to your image? I told you a long time ago, calm down. Be sure to calm down. As for this, we should support the children when they go out to make troubles. It's not good to spoil them at every turn. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, held his head high, and while talking, his whole body became smug, and his posture was very proud. In a few words. Get lost. That's it? Didn't you see what you were like back then? I've been talking about your precious daughter and your precious son-in-law. I haven't closed my eyes for several days. You are much more worried than me. Now you're pretending to be a wolf with a big tail in front of me. Uncle G rolled his eyes, and then complained angrily. Nothing. The corner of Shui Wanren's mouth twitched. It's okay to beat someone but not face. We really can't do this. How bad it is. Father. We're fine. We're all fine. This time in the True God Cave, my daughter has gained a lot of knowledge. Concubine Xiang walked over, talking, and then said coquettishly. While everyone was chattering, suddenly, thunder rolled in the sky. Boom. Rumbling. There was a thunderbolt in the clear sky, and the scene seemed a little weird. The god of Doer manipulated the purple flames to sweep towards Fang Fan crazily, with a look of horror on his face. This divine thunder is not here to kill me. It's over, it's over. Damn god of disaster. He won't give me this hand back. The god of Doer couldn't help but began to curse, and while talking, his panic gestures were vividly displayed. Fang Fan frowned, and was a little confused. Don't worry. No matter how bad it is, I can drag you into my small world. It's okay to save your life. Fang Fan pondered for a moment, then said confidently. This confidence is always there. Small world. You have a small world. Owner. The god of Doer trembled physically and mentally. Before this, he had never thought of this. At this moment, he felt a little dizzy for no reason, and his eyes gradually became erratic. Small world? Kingdom of God. Isn't this the existence that can only be possessed by a true God? In the past, he also had a kingdom of God, which is the so-called small world. Conversely, isn't the one with the small world the true God? The god of Doer suddenly panicked in his heart. Could it be that the master of his blind worship is still a huge mystery? Thoughts gathered here, and the brain immediately buzzed. Can't hold on, really can't hold on. I got it by accident before. It's an artifact. Fang Fan said a few words casually, so as to dispel the fear in the heart of the god of doom. Anyway, this is also his god slave. Everything needs to be taken care of. Master. I may have to cross the catastrophe. Roar. I'm so uncomfortable. The keel whale height suddenly jumped out from the side, The scales on his body trembled slowly, his eyes were blood red. In the True God Cave, due to the restrictions of the rules, the keel whale can only cultivate to the 5-star peak sanctuary realm. But after leaving the True God Cave, everything is different. Restrictions are fully lifted. The energy he had accumulated for tens of millions of years exploded in an instant. Thunder tribulation appeared early. The scene is very eerie. Boom. Rumbling. And this is just the beginning. At this moment, there is another thunder group in the sky. The two thunderbolts descended at the same time, and the threat they posed was extremely powerful. Feel it a little bit, and your brain will buzz. Mentally, fully uplift. In the territory of God's land, two thunder groups suddenly appeared, which means that there will be two people rushing to the thunder disaster. The more you look at it, the more treacherous it becomes. There was a sensation in the audience. I feel uncomfortable. Fang Fan, I feel so uncomfortable. Chu Sisi suddenly held Fang Fan's arm tightly, and then couldn't help holding Fang Fan's flesh and blood with his nails. Fang Fan. There is something wrong with this woman. Ah. Grass. Fang Fan couldn't help but let out a yell, and when he saw a row of teeth marks on his neck, he wanted to cry without tears. Is this woman a dog? Like to bite him at every turn? I know where the strawberry mark on my husband's neck came from. Have you all been like this in the God of Disaster Cave Mansion before? Eating each other. Xiao Liulai opened her eyes wide, with a confused expression on her face. Rumbling. The two thunder groups in the sky became more and more crazy. My lord. I'm going to cross the tribulation. Keel Whale Height shook his fat body, and then reported. Fang Fan nodded silently, and then watched the keel whale run into the air with burning eyes, not knowing what level this guy could be promoted to this time under the sudden thunder calamity. As for the woman in front of me. Fang Fan glanced at Chu Sisi, who was still gnawing at him madly, and his claws were numb at this moment. Oh shit. It hurts. Grass. You, what are you doing? Fang Fan. And, Sisi. Forget about Fang Fan, I already knew that this guy is unreliable. But Sisi, you, how do you know? Shui Wanren was stunned, and the corners of his mouth were trembling crazily at this moment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3400. Exploded. Mind blown. I don't know what to say. Why does this look so confusing? Shui Wanren is Chu Sisi's uncle and her elder, seeing his niece in such a posture, how can he feel better? The mentality has slowly taken off. A deadpan face is the best state. Deputy Palace Master. When did I become unreliable? This has nothing to do with me. I'm passive. You are still her uncle, pull her away quickly. It's too difficult for me. Fang Fan sighed, the corners of his mouth twitched involuntarily, his eyes gradually became erratic, and endless emotions gathered in his heart at this moment. This feeling is very unique. The corners of Shui Wanren's mouth twitched in anger. What the hell is going on? Can you please stop for a while? You are difficult. What's wrong with you? Isn't that exactly what you want? Do you feel very proud now? Shui Wanren gritted his teeth and stared at Fang Fan. As an old father-in-law, seeing his son-in-law has always been in a state of getting more and more unhappy. At this moment, the corners of his mouth couldn't help twitching, and his brain was also buzzing. This mentality exploded. It really exploded. That's it? Still playing chicken. Fang Fan. When did this get involved with pride again? Are you thinking too much? Boom. There was a sound of explosion, and the thunder group directly covered the heads of Fang Fan and the others. At the same time, a light shone on Chu Sisi's body. Obviously, This thunder group is aimed at Chu Ceci. Ceci's thunder tribulation. This, how is this possible? Sick is only in the 6-star peak sanctuary realm. What kind of thunder tribulation is this crossing? Holy venerable lightning tribulation. Demigod thunder tribulation. It's nothing. This. Shui Wanren had a puzzled look on his face, and now he really couldn't understand it more and more. After scanning his eyes, the doubts on his face will only increase. How did it become like this? Wake up. It's time to cross the tribulation. Fang Fan grabbed Chu Ceci's shoulder and said helplessly. Don't want. Woo woo woo. Beep. Chu Ceci turned around and hugged Fang Fan's waist, then rubbed her little head in Fang Fan's arms, and while talking, the arrogant expression on her face became more and more. That's pretty cute. Shui Wanren. Shui Wanren began to doubt life. What the hell is going on in this world? First of all, his daughter Xiangfia loves Fang Fan desperately, and no matter how much she persuades her, she can't persuade her. Now there is another niece of his, and now he is in this state again. The more you look at it, the more treacherous it becomes, the more you look at it, the more numb your scalp feels. So beautiful. Isn't it good to show the miracle of mountains and rivers? After feeling it a little bit, this mentality is also a little swaying. I don't want to say anything, I don't want to do anything, anyway, I am completely numb at this moment. The cool moonlight is being fully practiced to the end. Tai Shuji had a smile on his face. My apprentice, it's really unusual. My apprentice has fascinated thousands of girls. That's not a bad idea. The girls who are selected are all girls with excellent aptitude, and the children born at that time must also have excellent aptitude. By then, I will be able to cultivate a few more favored sons of heaven. Tai Shuji's eyes lit up, thinking to himself, his eyebrows moved slightly, and he really seemed a little excited at the moment. This feeling is very real. Why? Abusing dogs all the time. It's so difficult for me. Bai Piao rolled his eyes. Gisha and Zhuoqiuyao looked at each other and smiled wryly. What else can I say now besides admiring Fang Fan? Nothing. Mentally, breakdown. In general, that's exactly what happened. The 3 daughters of Xiangfei have different reactions. Xiao Liulai was shocked, she didn't expect Fang Fan to actually have an affair with Chu Ceci. Lu Jiyi is plain, maybe I'm used to it. Concubine Xiang has a complicated expression. Although she had guessed it before, she always feels sour when she sees this scene. Fang Fan is in infinite grief at this moment. This woman is definitely a dog. This biting doesn't stop at all. This speed is extremely fast. Rumbling. The thunder group belonging to Chu Ceci made another loud noise in the air. It seems that even it can't stand it anymore. Isn't this too arrogant? The moment of thunder disaster. Are you spreading dog food here? Ben Leja doesn't want to lose face. You should go up and respond to the robbery. If this goes on like this, today's thunder will strike us all to death. Fang Fan Mo said with an expression. Ah. Oh. New. Chu Ceci is probably gradually returning to normal now, at least her speaking is more normal. But in an instant, she suddenly smiled charmingly, and then bit down again. Fang Fan only felt that the piece of flesh on his chest was about to fall off. Dog woman. Grass. Whoosh. After Chu Ceci finished biting, she went straight into the air. The expressions and gestures are vividly displayed. 2 thunder clusters in the air gathered together. Keel Whale and Chu Ceci crossed the catastrophe at the same time. Eye-catching countless. Everyone's eyes are gathered here, and each face has a strange look. Both the Keel Whale and that girl seem to be from the Guangming Academy. And they all just came out of the True God Cave mansion. Just after leaving the True God Cave, Lei Ji was attracted. If there is nothing tricky about it, it must be a lie. What kind of special harvest does Guangming Academy have? That monster, how come I've never seen it before? Oh my god. It looks a bit strange, the tail looks like a dragon's tail, but the head, why is it so like a sea creature? Is this a mixed blood unicorn? Miscellaneous hammer, does your unicorn look like this? No. It's not right. There is definitely a problem. Call. Who the hell can tell me why this happened? Seeing this monster, I seem to think of a special monster keel whale. Keel whale? What? What kind of weird name? It is said that this keel whale feeds on keel. In ancient times, they looked down on one side and took pleasure in killing the real dragons in the world. Those real dragons will only be scared to shit when they see the keel whale. An existence stronger than a real dragon. Oh my god. I've never seen this kind of monster before. Even if those ancient beasts are relatively rare, there will still be some of them. This is the first time I've heard of this keel whale. It is said that during the War of the Ancient Gods, all of them died, and the keel whale has not appeared for millions of years. Now that the keel whale has appeared again, does it mean that the War of Gods is about to start again? Let's not talk about the keel whale. That girl seems to be a student of Guangming Academy. She seems to have gained a lot from this trip. CAO. It exploded.